All right. Statement of claim is that while vacationing in the Napa Valley on 4th of July weekend, wonderful choice, by the way, Mr. Braun, I encountered my
Thank you.
friend, law partner, and fellow semi-retired gentleman of leisure, Roy O'Banion. Mr. O'Banion invited me to have lunch with him at the French Laundry restaurant, where we and our dates enjoyed a 9-course tasting menu and some of the best wine money can buy. After dessert, I excused myself to use the restroom, and when I returned to the table, Mr. O'Banion and both of our dates had left the restaurant. I had no choice but to pay the entire bill of $4,923.72 out of pocket. Relief being sought by Mr. Braun is the sum of $4,923.72 for the lunch. And that is the entirety of relief sought in this case. Mr. Braun, do I have this statement of claim and the relief correct, sir?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Banion, do you understand the charge that has been put against you by Mr. Braun and the dollar amount that is being sought?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, very good. For those of you that are in the gallery and those of you that have not been here before, I'm going to go over a couple of quick little things. I will remind everybody before the court today that this is a civil and not a criminal proceeding. There are no criminal charges pending before this court, and nobody will be going to jail at the end of this hearing, unless, of course, someone purges themselves or finds themselves in contempt of my court, which is entirely possible.
What? The hell
This
are you
being
freaking up
a
for?
civil and not a criminal case, the burden of proof still resides upon the plaintiff as it would in a criminal case. However, the bar is that the plaintiff must prove his theory of events based on a preponderance of evidence and not beyond a reasonable doubt. It is a lower bar and simply means that based on everything the court hears today, it is likely that not only was a wrong done to Mr. Braun, but that Mr. O'Banion is the source of that wrong and is financially culpable to Mr. Braun for that wrong in order to make him whole. Does everybody understand what is going to be happening before this court today?
I know an easy way to win this, but I'm
Hit
not
her
going to
again.
tell you guys or Aaron.
Wow. Press some charges.
All right, very good. If that is the case, then we're going to get started. Mr. Braun, Mr. Braun, Mr. Banion, who will be representing you?
Daniel Crawford, Your Honor, junior
All right.
attorney.
Mr.
Aaron
O'Banion?
Cox, pretty much an attorney at this point.
All right, Mr. Crawford.
Mine leveled up too.
Oh, leveled up, really? Like, did the Final Fantasy like play when you did it?
Wow.
I don't know. We're using more the
wow.
Pokemon metaphor more so.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
did
Pokemon's
he already have 4 skills? Did he have to get rid of one, and get a new one?
All right, Your Honor, I withdraw. He evolved. He
He
evolved
oh,
into
dang.
a
All right.
regular lawyer Pokemon.
Yeah, he evolved from a
okay, then.
Munchlax to a Snorlax, Your Honor.
Oh, all right then. There we go. So basically, I'm gonna find him barring the only path I need to go down later, aren't I? I have to get a bell. All right, Mr. Crawford, step forward and go ahead and give your opening statement, sir.
If it may please the court, Judge Arson and ladies and gentlemen here today. Today we're here for what is stripped down to the bone, quite simply, a case
That's
of a
thanks for the 2 months
premeditated
of
diamond
Prime.
dash. I'm sure we all know what that is. When someone decides to skip out on the bill for a service that deserves to be charged for. Leaving the other individual to pay for themselves, knowing full well what they're doing is not only a betrayal of trust, but quite frankly is just a petty thing to do. Today I will be giving you a preponderance of the evidence in where Rory Banion had premeditated these series of events and never intended to pay in the first place, setting up this meeting and luring my client in with a well-known fine dining and high-end establishment. By the end of the day, it will be known here that my client, Mr. Braun, here was forced his hand after Warrior Banion decided to show his magic skills and disappear essentially, leaving Mr. Braun to pay the full bill himself for the slice of light lunch, whilst also leaving the scene with my client's date. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. I don't know why we're going to prep a dance, but I think you were going for preponderance, right?
Yes, sorry. I'm
All right. Nope, that's all right. Preponderance. It's all right.
Tell them I'm a hobbyist magician.
You leveled up to full attorney. You got to use them big boy words.
Alright, look, Aaron, fuck
All
that
right,
guy.
Aaron.
He's an idiot. Alright, you
Ms.
got
Cox,
this.
you may come forward and give your opening statement before the court today.
Okay, so Judge the Fourth. My client here is a hobbyist magician. I don't know what that means, but he is determined that he is. And also, I didn't prepare an opening statement, but this is what you do in college. You improvise, and therefore I will do that. Don't you think that premeditated dine and dash is a little bit extreme? We don't know this yet. This is accusations too prematurely decided upon, okay? We do not have preponderance of evidence currently, and we don't yet know if this was just a misunderstanding or something that was actually agreed upon by Mr. Braun himself and then taken back later. But we will see. We will see, Your Honor. Goodbye.
Did you just end his statement by
Did she just say
saying
goodbye?
goodbye to the honor?
Yeah, I did. Why?
Where's she going?
Back here, why?
Well, Mr. O'Banion, your counsel may be retiring for the evening a little bit early, but Ms. Cox, thank you for that improvisational
The fuck
and
kinda opening
slightly
statement was
austere
that?
opening statement.
You addressed nothing.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Remember
All
when
right.
I emailed you telling you to
Crawford,
get on? I mean, in the
court
city,
will,
and you
the court
didn't?
will hear your case, sir. Do you have any facts
Oh
and
my
evidence
God.
that you wish the court to take a look at this time? Physical evidence.
Just the actual receipt itself that Mr. Braun
gonna
has
have to
filed.
fucking-
Which I would like to point out does not have names on there.
All right.
Hey,
The
point
court.
out that we have a
the court will
surprise
take a look.
witness,
This is
one of the escorts.
noted plaintiff's
The
exhibit
dates.
Alpha, correct?
Escorts, wow.
Yes, that's correct.
All
point it
right.
out right now?
So noted.
Wait until you're called upon. I lost my money. Fuck, you definitely did, dude.
Excuse me one moment. I'm taking a look at this.
Absolutely fine.
What was your name
Alright,
again?
yep.
It's Molly.
All right.
Mo-
Yep.
Molly.
Thank you.
No, it's Molly. It's like the
All right,
drug
very
you
good.
take.
Her name is Molly.
Yeah, like the
Ms.
drug,
Cox,
like MDMA.
you had some. Well, Ms. Cox, you had something about this exhibit that you wish to denote to the court.
God, if she wins. you better give me
Yeah,
a fuck ton of
accusations.
stuff.
Also, we have a surprise witness, Molly. We call her
Wonderful. Mazel
Ecstasy.
tov. You have a surprise witness. It is not time for you to be calling any witnesses. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm asking for what issues
Now
you
it's
have
not a
with
surprise, you stupid
plaintiff's
bitch.
exhibit Alpha.
What? Yeah. So, I don't. What was the question? Sorry, Rory's talking in my ear.
Plaintiff's exhibit Alpha. The receipt showing a cost of $4,923.72 from the French Laundry.
Yeah, my point here is that there is no name, no credit card number, nothing that directly says that actually Murphy actually paid this. It just has a number. It could actually just be fake.
What the fuck?
Okay, so noted.
Is she just contesting that the lunch ever even took place? Why is there a
I
girl
think
here?
so.
Mr. Braun, I believe she is contesting whether or not anything was actually paid because this receipt does not show a zero sum.
I'm not the one on trial here. Whether I paid the bill is irrelevant.
We're not the one on trial here. Whether or not he paid the bill is irrelevant.
How is it a?
So noted. We will take that into consideration. And Ms.
Objection,
Cox, I will
speculation.
hear.
Objection, speculation. Also, I'm not really too
believe
sure
you
how
just
it's
did that.
irrelevant because the whole case is about how Mr. Braun did indeed pay the bill. So if he didn't actually pay the bill, then we don't have a case here.
All right. So
Dig Dug, thanks for the
we
3 months of
we
Prime.
don't have witness statements happening right now, so there is no need to object. However, I
God,
see,
now this lawyer do her thing,
I
fuck it.
have examined People's Exhibit Alpha. It will go into evidence, but I have heard the notes from both sides, and I will take both arguments into consideration when I conduct my deliberations later. Mr. Crawford, is there any other item that's physical or some such that you wish me to cast eyes upon before we move on to witness testimony, sir?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Mr. Crawford, do you have any witnesses you wish to call before the court at this time, sir?
Yes, the prosecution will have to call Mr. Murphy Braun to the stand.
Mr. Crawford, are you a district attorney?
No, Your Honor.
No, but he's a
Then,
dipshit.
are you quite certain that you're a prosecutor?
No, Your Honor.
So what would you be then, sir?
Just
Oh, the P word, sir.
Plaintiff.
plaintiff. Apologies, Your Honor.
Will you do me
There
a
you
favor?
go. Yeah.
What?
Just take my head and slam it into this
Oh,
desk.
never mind.
I've heard enough already.
It seems like you're more
Can-
evenly matched with this idiot than I
can-
thought,
can-
Aaron. Good luck.
Can someone
Wow.
get Chips in here? Dennis needs to.
No, it's fine.
No, it's all right.
Can I take the stand, Your Honor?
Oh, we don't have a bailiff.
I got it under
yes, sir,
control.
you may.
Okay.
I believe we do not have a bailiff. So,
It's
hey,
fine.
Dennis, Mazel Tov, you're my bailiff.
Right.
Hey, Snooze over there.
I'm not a
Unless,
lawyer right now. Why
unless,
would I be on my
Officer Snow
job?
wishes to do it. I don't care.
All right, Mr. Braun.
I can do it if there's no one else.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give at this hearing shall be the truth and nothing but the truth under penalties of perjury, so help you coil?
I do, Your Honor.
He's been sworn in, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Crawford, you may approach the speaking table and begin your questioning of this witness, sir.
Hello, Mr. Braun. How are you today?
I am doing just great. I love the smell of justice in the morning, Mr. Crawford.
That's great to hear.
Can't
Just
be playing music with the voice.
you went to the fresh
Won't be
laundry
able to
over
hear
at the
anything.
Napa Valley at the 4th of July, correct?
Yes, it was 4th of July weekend. By the way, that's the French Laundry. The French Laundry. I'm sure you haven't heard of it. It's one of the best restaurants in the world, but it's
Probably
actually
couldn't afford to
French
go there.
Laundry, not fresh. It's,
That's
the
why he's
laundry
fighting
is
this
called
case, Rory.
France.
My apologies. And as stated in your claim, Mr. Banion was the one who invited you to lunch, correct?
Yes, Mr. O'Banion knew that I was in the area, so I got a telephone call from him asking if I wanted to have lunch. He said, "Hey, I'm with a couple of girls. I need a wingman. You want to come have lunch?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Thanks for thinking of me." And Mr. O'Banion said, "No problem. It's my pleasure." And so it was.
Turned out
My
it was just
pleasure.
my
All
pleasure.
right.
My pleasure.
And
Thinking about it when I
annoying course
walked out
no,
on the bill.
the best wine anyone could buy. You must have been there for a while, and I'm sure wine must have been included in this this luncheon.
Yes. You do when you go have a 9-course tasting menu. For the layman's in the audience, when you're rich, you go and you have a 9-course tasting menu, and then you also do a wine tasting. So you try a variety of wines. The sommelier brings them out, and then after you're done tasting the wine, you select the ones you like the most, and they bring it to you, and you enjoy some wine. It's all very very fancy.
Especially the spitting and not swallowing part.
Right, you don't swallow
What?
all
Tell that to
tasting
my
wine.
lawyer.
You spit that out into a thing. I don't know what the thing is called, but
Why wouldn't you
you
swallow?
could look into that. But yeah, you actually spit out the wine, and then you pick the one you like.
What the fuck? Just
Right,
fucking
right.
swallow all of it and then pick the one you like.
Throughout the time, did Mr. Banion also have quite a bit to drink throughout the night?
Oh yeah, we
Definitely.
each had a bottle of wine, and we were feeling pretty buzzed by the end of that lunch. It's only 1 in the afternoon, and I was pretty tipsy. Very very good wine though.
Right. And would you say he was in full composure in your point of view by the end of the night?
That's a very relative term. I don't think he's in full composure right now. He doesn't even have a T-shirt on under that disgusting hoodie. So, no, I didn't really think he was very well
Oh, I'm
composed
supposed to
at
do that
all.
right now?
I think he's disheveled most of the time. It was kind of embarrassing.
Objection! Badgery!
What are you doing?
Badgery.
He's harassing my client about the way he's dressing. What's wrong with the way he's dressing?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I can't memorize my
I'm-
objections.
He's not badgering the client.
You can't object during a
When
testimony.
you object for
You told
badgering,
me
it
to,
is
you
because an individual is badgering the witness, not because the witness is bad-mouthing your client. The objection you really should have gone for, Aaron, was as soon as he asked that question, you should have indicated that Mr. Braun's answer could only be speculative, as Mr. Braun would have no way of knowing whether or not Mr. O'Banion's faculties were entirely his own at that time.
Okay, objection, speculation.
Well, it's far too
It's
late.
too
We're gonna
late.
let this happen.
Well, I was just saying, I took
Mr.
it back
Braun, you
and I
may
replaced
continue.
it.
No, you have to do it during the question.
So, yeah, no, I didn't think he was very well composed. He seemed very fucked up. I mean, intoxicated. Sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's fine.
But no more than usual, I guess.
Right, and so just to backtrack just a step here. When it came to ordering the wine, were there any objections to it at all from Mr. O'Banion?
No.
Can I
he seemed
objection
totally
leading?
fine with it. He was like, yeah, let's
Objection?
get the
I don't
wine
know the
tasting
objections.
going. Getting the girls into it and everything. It was, we were all in good spirits up until they took off. Yeah, no, the sommelier
to
came
fire.
over and he asked me what looked good and that was that.
Did you say anything to Mr. O'Banion or the fellow company alongside as you were excusing yourself?
Yeah, I said, hey, that dessert was, we had some dessert, and I said, hey, I'm stuffed. I gotta hit the head. I'll be right
Doesn't
back,
know what
and
she's
we'll
doing.
go catch some
Objection or
fireworks someplace.
relevance?
The relevance is he went up to the bathroom and just trying to confirm if anything was said.
Am I going to have to fucking fire you?
I'm gonna overrule this one, but that was a good objection. Carry on, Mr. Braun.
Yeah, no. I basically just said, hey, I'm stuffed. I gotta hit the head before we go catch some fireworks someplace.
I don't know what the
And
fuck
I'll
these
be back in 1
objections are.
minute.
Can I just
And
say random
they
objections?
had just brought the check out, so I figured while I was excused, Mr. O'Banion would take care of the bill, and we'd go continue to have a nice day. But tragically, and traumatically, I should add, I was subjected to abandonment and forced to pay the full bill plus a $1,300 tip, which I didn't include in the filing because I'm a nice guy and because O'Banion doesn't believe in tipping.
So there was a $1,300 tip, and he doesn't believe in tipping.
No, he doesn't believe in it. Doesn't tip. Not a tipper.
Okay, it's duly noted. Just a rough estimate. How long would you say that you were gone from the table from when you excuse yourself?
I want to say probably about 3 minutes.
About 3 minutes. And when you returned, as you stated before, just confirming, there was no one to be seen at the table.
No one to be seen. Actually, my bottle of wine was also gone. I think they took all the remaining
Kyle, come
wine,
on, man.
which was corked and ready for the road, and they just absconded with everything. They even took my leftovers.
Well, Rory.
Took your
Oh,
leftovers.
that's so
God.
I had a doggy bag. It was gone. Piece of shit.
Help her? No.
Sorry, Your Honor. I'm very
What?
emotional.
That's all right. I might be a little bit upset too if my leftovers were absconded with to parts unknown, so they could be munched by some other individual.
So
I do,
when you
Yana.
returned to the table, what was left?
Just the bill.
Just the bill. And there was no note or no check, nothing showing that had been paid for.
Nothing.
And so you had to pay for this yourself, as including the $1,300 tip, correct?
Yes, including the $1,300 tip.
That's disgusting. I'm really sorry
I'm
that
not.
you had to go through this, sir. No further
Fine.
questions, Your Honor.
All right, you may step back, Ms. Cox. Do you wish to cross?
Yes.
Dan,
All right,
ask
well,
him some
come on up to
questions.
the speaking table and cross-examine this witness.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mr. Braun, I have a couple of questions for you.
All right. Absolutely.
Can you tell me about your day on July 4th? What did you have planned that day?
Well, I was.
Objection narrative.
Shut up, you bitch! All right,
Nah, Alright,
Oh my gosh.
Ms. Cox.
Okay, fine. Sorry. Did
Now
you do
hold-
anything
now hold,
before?
Just hold your damn
Oh
horse,
my
little lady.
God.
There is an objection before this court, and there's a process into how it is handled. An objection is before this court. For the love of God,
Miss
put the finger
Cox.
down, or I'm going to hold you in contempt, and you're going to find your way out of here. This is
Sorry,
not a
that wasn't
playground.
at you. The fourth. That was at him.
It doesn't
And
matter,
try
Miss
your
Cox.
honor.
Your Honor.
Much better. This is not a playground, Miss Cox.
I'm not playing.
This is an actual
Fucked.
hearing.
Yeah,
There's
you're
$5,000 of your client's money on the line here, and you should probably take that seriously. Now, the objection before the court is that the question you have posed to Mr. Braun is narrative in nature.
I understand.
Do you have any response to that, or do you simply wish to rephrase?
I'm going to just move on.
All right, very good. Then that
So-
objection is sustained.
Did you do anything before you got to the French Laundry?
Objection relevance?
It is relevant. I just want to know what
Why
happened
is she
before the French
asking
Laundry.
him
Did you do
about
anything
her
before you went to
Well,
the
now,
French Laundry?
hold on. I decide whether or not it's relevant. Tell me why I should think it's relevant.
Colton West.
Because
thanks for
I
the
want
prime.
to know if things took place before the French Laundry meeting.
Okay, you're close to a good reason why. Give me some more. It doesn't matter what you want. I'm the one that has to hear this, so tell me why.
Okay, I want to know if he was drinking before the French Laundry took place.
Okay, objection is overruled. You may answer.
Could you repeat the question? I don't know if I'm answering about booze or if I'm answering about just general activities.
Were you partaking in drinking before the French Laundry?
Yo, anonymous. Thanks for gifting that tier 1.
A little bit. I was on vacation. 4th of July weekend.
How much do you think that
It's
you
also my
had drank
birthday.
before you got to the restaurant?
I believe I had just a few fingers of scotch, pretty much, on the rocks. Just one drink.
Got it. Do you remember your date's name?
Sadie's.
Molly. Molly. It's Molly. Molly.
Are
Iker,
you
thanks for the
asking
3
for
months,
a
dude.
short recess?
No.
I can't hear her, Your Honor.
Yeah, make sure you're speaking loudly, Aaron. And yes, the court will grant you a 2-minute recess to speak with your client. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't need 2 minutes. I literally just need one
Well,
question.
just go.
Or
I'm
just
saying
take the
yes.
2 minutes.
Okay.
He's
I'm
off.
saying yes. Go ahead.
Your Honor, permission to hydrate on the stand here.
Of course, sir. Do what you need to.
Is Molly your date or his fucking date?
Was Molly and Mercedes. And guess what? By the end of it, they were both my dates.
No, but the thing is the way he phrased it was literally that you had 2 girls with you, so neither of them were his date. So he's obviously very confused, as in inconsistencies. I know I'm fucking bullshitting around.
Then make it sound like he was just there and I was just there with the 2 dates.
I am, and also I'm trying to prove that his story is inconsistent and he doesn't remember anything. So he could have agreed upon paying the bill and then forgot because he was already
Look, I'm gonna
drinking
give you a
beforehand.
bombshell. Come here real quick.
Okay, what?
God damn it.
Because you can't even
I was
remember
hoping
the
you could
girls'
figure
names.
this out on your own.
What?
Why the fuck should I have to pay the whole goddamn bill? Shouldn't I have to only pay half?
No, not even half. You should only pay a fourth if you play anything. There was 4 people there. If he's demanding you pay for half, then the other 2 people should pay too. You should really only pay 1,200.
Can you please be better, for the love of God?
What do you mean I am?
You're terrible.
Why? I want you to pay nothing. Not a fourth, not a half. I want you to pay nothing.
I don't want to pay anything either. You know, I never
Yeah,
had a
so let
verbal
me do
agreement
this
to
the way
pay a
I'm
bill.
doing it.
Yeah, do it then. Just don't
The only thing
flip
is I
off
don't know
somebody
the
in court.
technicalities of all the bullshit, the objections,
Don't flip
and the
off
long
anybody in
process.
court. Don't
You
flip
do
off
it all the
anybody
time.
in
Are you
court.
serious? You just did it earlier. I'm your
That's 'cause-
protege.
Yeah, well, I'm not a lawyer right
I'm
now.
learning from you. You're like the mommy duck that teaches all the baby ducks.
I'm
and
the
your
wrong
baby
one.
duck-
I'm the wrong fucking one for you to be learning from, Aaron.
Well, that's what
I
I'm learning
operate by a
from
different
you.
book.
I learned from you. This is why I'm this way.
No, you were this way before. Now, do you have any questions that are going to be... What are you going to... You know what? Keep doing your thing. I think you're doing great.
What? What?
What?
You know, I am like following in your baby footsteps, and I know you would do the same shit.
Yeah, except I just do it a little bit better. A lot. Oh shit.
Okay, so Molly and Mercedes. Okay. Oh my. Rory. So you're saying, okay. So whose date
It is.
originally?
Hello.
If he thought one was his date, he thought Molly was his date, and you claim that Molly was your date.
Go both my dates. Just go do it. Whatever.
What do you mean? I hate you.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I
Wanna
gotta
go
say,
to a
all this
very
talk about
expensive
lunch is
restaurant
making
after
me
this?
real hungry for dinner.
Yeah, I had barbecue chicken. It was wonderful. All right. This court is back in session. Ms. Cox, you may continue your questioning of this witness.
Okay, Mr. Braun, what was Rory's date's name?
Tracy.
Mr. Crawford, do you
Tra-
have an actual objection here?
Tracy or Stacy or
Who's Mercedes?
Don't tell him.
Mercedes. That's what that was. That's what it was.
Rory. Was it previously discussed which girl would take each of you? Like which girl was gonna belong to you on a date?
Objection.
That sounds weird.
relevance?
It actually is relevant.
Well, all right. Once again, frame your argument, Ms. Cox. Tell me why it's relevant. Why do I care?
Because if it wasn't understood and just
Fucking her
assumed,
plan up.
then because the understanding is, and it was in his statement too, that Rory showed up with two girls, invited Mr. Murphy, Braun, to lunch with the two girls that he was with. So I think Murphy misunderstood the situation, thinking that one of the girls was his date. So.
All right. So, okay. I'm going to overrule that objection. The witness may answer.
It was briefly discussed as an aside. You know, we didn't have much time to talk privately. We were
sidebar.
with our dates. So, you know, when they were checking their coats, you know, we talked briefly about it. You know, he said, you know, which one do you want, kind of conversation. And, you know, I'm indecisive, so I didn't know. I was like, you know, I'll figure it out. I just said we'll figure it out. I might ask him which one he liked, and I don't remember what he said.
And was that the same thing with the check? Did you agree to just figure it out and not discuss it prior to the dinner?
No, there was an implied verbal contract on the phone when I said thanks for the invite, and he said it's my pleasure. The inviter pays the goddamn check, especially when they say it's my pleasure. Okay? If he invited me out, it's an implied verbal contract. This is all etiquette, which is long established throughout time immemorial. You might not understand
deadly
because you're not
corrupt.
the
Thanks for the
1%,
17
but
months,
you know,
brother.
when someone calls you and invites you to lunch, says it's my pleasure, that's basically a written contract saying he's going to pay that goddamn bill.
I've never heard of that rule before. I'm also not sure if you can imply that someone is gonna pay for your dinner.
Is that a question?
No, it's a statement. Just a little bit confusing about how you just assumed that someone was gonna pay your check for you.
Well, as I said, you probably wouldn't understand because, you know, you're not a wealthy entrepreneur like myself and Mr. O'Banion, but there are certain rules and etiquettes and customs amongst people with money, and this is one of them.
Yo, sad boys. Thanks for the 2 months, dude.
How do
I'm
you
great.
feel about Rory having gone home with not only his date, but your quote unquote date as well?
Oh shit, it's Mercedes.
I mean, I can only assume that the one of the three of them ate my leftovers, so I wasn't very happy about it. But to be honest, they kind of seem like they might possibly be Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
What's a nice word for whores? Court appropriate.
Escort, lady of the night.
Date.
Escorts. Yes, escorts. I had a suspicion that they might be escorts, so I wasn't that really emotional about it. ultimately.
I think
No,
I...
no offense, Molly. You seem like a really nice girl. You know,
Hey,
I
look,
just,
Mercedes is here
I
too,
think you might-
Murphy. Say hi.
Mercedes also, you know, I mean, you seem like maybe you're really nice girls, but also maybe you might be prostitutes. I don't know.
Okay, I think I'm done for now, Your Honor.
All right, very good. You may step back. Mr. Crawford, do you wish to redirect, sir?
Yes. Not much to answer though.
All right. Take a little jump for me, Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, off a cliff.
Thank you.
Hip
You
hop.
idiot.
Hip hop,
See?
and
And
you
you
don't
can't
stop.
blame me for flipping him off.
So over the phone, just to from what Miss Cox said, he paid for both of the escorts here, correct?
I do not solicit paid female company, so you know I didn't know what arrangement. Didn't ask about any sort of financial arrangement with these alleged, you know, allegedly made with these ladies who may or may not be.
Go with courtesan.
You should have assumed she tried to blow you in the bathroom for $50, Murphy.
All right,
didn't ask-
order in the courtroom. Mr.
You son of a bitch, you're
Mr.
paying that bill.
O'Banion.
Wow.
That'll
Oh
be
my
enough of that,
God.
or I will hold you in contempt, sir.
I apologize, Yana.
Can
All
I make
right.
a statement as well? Anybody making those slurping and sucking noises, you can get the hell out of here. We're trying to have a civil hearing. Thank you.
I don't know where. Okay, I did not inquire as to the origin or nature of Mr. O'Banion's choice of female company. I simply accepted the invitation at face value. Is that a good answer? I think that's a good answer.
Shouldn't
That's
you know
fine.
if it's a good answer? If you're telling the truth,
Order
you know.
in the court.
I'm the
All right.
client. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm
All right,
emotionally
all right.
involved.
Ms. Cox, if you wish to register an objection to a question, you go right ahead. Otherwise, shut the hell up.
Okay, Your Honor.
And again, throughout the night, there was no mention at all of who would be paying the bill. It was all discussed in the phone call, correct? With the-
Yes. Again, the aforementioned implied verbal agreement that the inviter, who invites
Shit,
the
I'm
person
dying.
out to lunch, is asking for time in exchange for monetary value, which is the pleasure of the meal. So by giving Mr. O'Banion my time, he is then agreeing to treat me to the meal. That is typically the unspoken agreement, unless otherwise
Yeah, Herona.
agreed upon. So if we had discussed ahead of time, let's split it, then we would split it. If I decided ahead of time I wanted to pay, I would let him know. And if he refuses once to let me pay, then you know, that's fine. But if I really want to pay, then I insist. And then if he responds well to the insistence, then I get to pay. But if he continues to refuse, then he has a reason for wanting to pay, and I have to
Dr.
respect
Choi.
that. Again, this is all very important rich people stuff that, you know, I'm just trying to establish for the working class in the audience here. So that's basically how it works. I would have had to insist on paying since he invited me, and I would have to insist twice and be successful within 2 times in order to successfully take ownership of that check. None of that happened. He said it was my pleasure, which means he's got to pay the bill.
Right, and no further questions. Thank you.
All right, very good. Mr. Braun, you may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Watch out for the glass.
I'm paying that bill.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
Mr. Crawford, do you have any other witnesses that you wish to call before the court at this time, sir?
Not at this time, no, sir.
So then does the plaintiff rest their case?
Well,
What?
The plaintiff wishes to ask Mr. O'Banion, but I'm sure the defense is.
I'll
gonna
gladly
ask.
go up there.
I'm so very confused. Do you wish to call Mr. O'Banion to the stand or not, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to.
All right, very good. In a civil proceeding, sir, you can in fact call the other party to the stand. If this were a criminal proceeding, the prosecutor cannot do that because the Fifth Amendment gets in the way. Pesky little thing, that, isn't it? All right, Mr. O'Banion, please step forward, be sworn in.
Yana, may I have a bandage first? I was dying of
I
hunger.
have one.
Can somebody help Mr. O'Banion?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Miss Cox. Don't mind me. Sorry about that.
He seems to have left Mr. Braun's doggy bag at his house, and so he didn't have anything to eat.
Aaron, jump.
I threw that in the trash, Yana.
Oh, all right, that's fine.
Oh, did you just admit to throwing my lunch in the trash?
Let it be known.
I was never under oath.
He was also joking.
Shut up, Aaron.
What?
All right.
Why can't I say that?
Because I'm trying to swear in the witness, and you keep talking.
I literally said one word.
Yeah, exactly, when I'm trying to talk.
Order in my court, damn it. Let the witness be sworn in,
And
please.
don't me. Mr. O'Banion, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give at this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? So help you, Coyle.
Go help me, Coyle.
Sworn
Alright.
in, Your Honor.
Very good, Mr. Crawford. You may come up and question this witness.
Hello, Mr. O'Banion.
What's up, guy?
You and Mr. Braun have known each other for quite a while now, is that correct?
Yes, former enemies, now longtime friends. Probably, yeah, Murphy Braun's my best friend.
Okay. And when the two of you went out for dinner with the said dates, who picked out the venue?
No, I was pretty drunk.
Okay. Do you remember how you worded the invitation?
Do I remember how I worded the invitation? I probably called up Murph and I said, hey, Murphy, I got these two dates, in parentheses. You want to go, have a good time?
Okay. And I'm sure you must have known the price range average for an establishment such as the French Laundry.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm rich.
Have you been to this establishment before?
Man, many times.
And was at any point in time throughout the dinner you discussed how the bill would be paid?
I don't recall.
You said that you were drinking before, and there was wine that was had throughout the day or so. How did you handle your liquor that night, sir?
I think I pissed on a bar.
You pissed on a bar, sir.
Can't recall, though. That's so I'm told.
Right. And after dessert, Mr. Braun excused himself to the bathroom. Can you confirm that yourself?
Murphy was there, and then he wasn't. I don't pay attention when guys speak when I'm out with dates.
Just one moment, sorry. Could you explain what happened after Mr. Braun wasn't there anymore?
Objection narrative?
Murphy Braun wasn't there
Hold
anymore.
Hold on. There's an objection before this court. Mr. Crawford, do you wish to challenge that objection?
Yes, I'm purely just trying to fill in the gap from when Mr. Braun left to go to the bathroom to
It's
when he
completely
returned.
relevant.
Well, that's a hell of a gap, sir. That objection is sustained. You may reword.
When the check arrived and Mr. Braun excused himself to go to the bathroom, where did you go?
To my Porsche.
To your Porsche.
Yeah.
With the check there, and you did not pay, correct?
I thought it was implied that Murphy Braun would be paying the bill, as I invited him out.
but you understand that when you invite someone out, you normally it would be, excuse the term, your shout.
Not when I do it.
And was that established at any point in time?
I believe it was implied.
It was implied, but it was not established. Okay. So after you left to go to your Porsche, did you inform anyone or leave a note or any identification with the server?
Nah, I just,
Objection relevance?
Mr. Crawford?
Just trying to set more of a foundation to the story here.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
So, I just kind of, grabbed Mercedes and Molly. I took them to my Porsche. You get what you pay for.
You get what you paid for. Okay. And so there was
Plus
no
what you
notes.
didn't pay for, asshole.
You're the asshole.
All right, order in my courtroom, gentlemen.
And did you leave a tip at all?
I did later that night with both Molly and Mercedes, yes. Things they did was worthy of a tip.
Oh, so only the tip. Okay. That's all I have now, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Cox, do you wish to cross-examine this witness?
Sure. Rory!
Mr. O'Banion.
Mr. O'Banion. I currently don't know what to ask you, but I will think about it. Give me 1 minute.
All right, that's fine.
Why should it be implied that the person invites someone? Okay, this is actually not a question for you. I actually don't really know what to ask you.
Got a whole bunch of questions, Aaron. For the love of God, ask me something. Please.
Why only the tip? Why not all the way?
Get out.
I'm just messing around, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is not the place or time to mess around.
One more outburst like that, and I will have Officer Snow come over here and clap you in irons. And you can sigh at me all you want. But
I didn't know that you could hear me sign from there. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
This is a real damn case with real damn people and actual money that will be changing hands. You should take it seriously. And if you're not going to, then Mr. O'Banion here should find himself an attorney that will. And I will pay him.
Did I already lose?
Not yet. Because the case, I'm not deliberating and I haven't made a judgment yet.
Rory.
Now, go ahead with your questioning.
Mr. O'Banion.
Mr. O'Banion. Why do you think that Mr. Murphy, Braun, thinks it was implied that you should have paid the bill?
Because he's an idiot.
Speculation.
Objection, speculation.
I already answered.
You need to be quicker on the draw, Mr. Crawford, but that was textbook speculation.
Yeah.
You may continue, Ms. Cox.
Do you feel that Murphy was inebriated beyond belief at any point in the night?
Speculation.
Objection, speculation.
That,
I feel like it was a valid question.
Mr. O'Banion, are you a medical professional?
Nah, but I'm an alcoholic. Functioning alcoholic, Your Honor.
That actually comes pretty close to making you qualified, but still that would in fact be speculation, and it's going to be sustained. Next question.
Can I have a 2-minute recess with Mr. O'Banion, please?
I don't think you can have a 2-minute recess with me because I'm on the stand right now.
Yeah,
Aaron.
nope. He's on the
I can
stand.
take 2 minutes to get some questions together.
Yeah, if you won't do that, that's fine.
Yes, can I do that?
Court is in recess for 2 minutes.
You know, someone should really tell her that she gets to call him up the stand later, so if she doesn't have any questions, she should,
Yeah.
just...
Rory doesn't train me properly. Also, yeah, can I just call him later?
If
Your
you
Honor?
have no further questions, then you may you may state that you have no further questions at this time, and then yes, of course, when you're presenting your case, Aaron, you can call anybody that's been called up to the stand before,
You
Okay.
as
can
well as
call
anybody that's on your witness list.
Mercedes-Benz
I have
or
no further questions,
Molly.
Your Honor.
All right. Although it was a very short cross-examination, Mr. Crawford, do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Ask him if he believes in tipping.
All right, Mr. O'Banion, you may step down with the court's thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
And may I say
Watch
you,
out
you
for the
look handsome
glass.
today.
Now, you
Oh,
asked him
thank you
if he
very
left
much.
a tip. You didn't ask him
it's
if
a
he
new
believes
suit.
in
It's
it.
very nice. Mr. Yeah, Mr. Crawford. Do you have any other witnesses that you wish to call forward at this time, sir?
At this time, no, Your Honor.
So does the plaintiff rest, sir?
Ask him for permission to recall the surprise witnesses after they're done.
After Miss Cox finishes with Mr. O'Banion, I'd like to recall one of the escorts as a witness.
Dates.
They're
Yeah, yo,
dates.
all right.
Escort.
Anyhow, while this normally would be something that that you would do during your first calls, Mr. Crawford, yes, I will make allocations for that, and the plaintiff will be given an opportunity to recall and direct examine any of the defense's witnesses
Thank you, Your
because
Honor.
of the lateness to which they were added to the witness list.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. So, do you rest at this time, sir?
Yes.
All right, very good. Ms. Cox, are you prepared to begin your case, ma'am?
Yes, can I please call Mercedes up to the stand?
All right. Well, first, do you have any physical facts and evidence, receipts, phone bills, photographs, anything of that nature
No,
that
you
wish
don't.
the court to look at?
No.
All right,
Sir.
very good. Then you may call your first witness.
Okay. Mercedes, you can go to the stand, please.
Yeah, Miss Mercedes, please step forward, be sworn in.
I think she's
think she
inebriated
died.
at this time, Your Honor.
Oh dear. Well, then let's move on to our next witness, and if
I'm sorry.
has she regained her faculties?
Call into question the credibility of the witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, come on forward, be sworn in by the judge.
Is that her name? Miss
You know,
Mercedes?
I don't
Your
know.
Honor, I'd like
if
to call into
just
question
sling my
the
leg over
credibility.
this here, you're not gonna get mad at me
On
for doing that.
what grounds?
She clearly seems
Go
to be
for it, jump that
intoxicated right
hurdle.
now.
No,
That
I'm
is very
hurt.
true, and maybe that's something that you should ask her about while she's on the stand and you're cross-examining her.
I will, Your Honor.
Very
Your
good.
Honor, I'd like to bring into question this man objectifying me.
All right, well, we'll deal with that later. How about you come on over here, get sworn in?
Can I get your name, ma'am?
Rory.
It's
Do I go
Mercedes
first?
Benz.
Or do they go
Yes,
first?
this
Miss
is your
Benz,
witness.
Do you
You called
solemnly
her.
swear or affirm
Okay.
that the testimony you're about to give at this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalties of perjury, so help you coil?
Help me, Coyle, I do.
The witness has been sworn in, Your Honor.
I feel like we need to hand this witness a Capri Sun. All right, Ms.
Something.
Cox.
Hello, Mercedes.
It's because we're in a courtroom.
Or Miss
It's
Mercedes.
It's Miss Benz.
Miss Benz. Hello, Miss Benz.
Hello.
Hi. At any time in the night, did you hear either Rory or Mr. Murphy discuss the payment of dinner?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't really paying attention. There was a really cute waiter. I was trying to get myself an actual date. I was there, I had the breadsticks.
So the date sucked.
It was awful. And I don't really think that is either one of them. They both kind of sucked at the same time.
Interesting.
Objection, Your Honor. She doesn't have any class. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Objection.
All right.
We had sex.
We talk about
All right,
him
all right,
objectifying me now.
all right. Order in my court. Order in my court. Gentlemen, any more outbursts like that, and I will find a way to sentence you to both something terrible. I'll figure it out later. Ms. Cox, you may continue your questioning.
How much wine do you think, would you say was consumed that night?
At least 2.5 bottles.
Each or total on the table?
Total on the table.
Would you say that Mr. Braun acted inebriated or like very put together?
From my experience and from when he first walked through the door, Mr. Braun's always inebriated. I was told that he'll be
Speculation.
easy, you know,
Objection,
like a fish in a
speculation.
barrel.
All right, Ms. Cox, do you, I'm going to let that one. I'm gonna let you slide across the plate on that one. Ms. Cox, do you wish to offer any kind of rebuttal to this objection?
No, it's fine. They can object.
I would highly advise that you offer a rebuttal
Yes,
based on how
please.
you worded that question, Ms. Cox.
Do you think that Mr.
No, Ms. Cox.
was Mr. Braun
Oh, for the love of God.
unable?
Aaron, Aaron,
What?
It's a
stop
rebuttal.
for a second.
What?
Rebut the objection, because the way in which you ordered that, the way in which you worded that question, it actually was not speculative, because you were asking what she thought he looked like at the time.
Oh, you want me to tell you why I'm asking?
No, for the love of God, just
You want me to rephrase my question?
no. I
No,
basically
he
gave
wants you to
your
rebut
rebuttal, Aaron.
the objection.
What was the objection? I zoned out.
Why or why not is the question
How
of
are you zoning
speculation.
out when you're trying to?
I have ADD and I was thinking about what she was saying in my next question. What?
I need you to be in the moment with me, Aaron. All right,
I-
need you to
I'm
be
right
in
here.
this moment with me right now.
I'm right here with you.
You asked your witness here if she felt that Mr. Braun was acting inebriated. Am I right?
Correct.
Mr. Crawford objected based on the fact that that would be speculation. However, the way in which you worded that question is actually not speculative at all. You are simply asking her personal assessment of his actions, whether he seemed to be inebriated at the time. You're not asking her to give any kind of diagnosis at all.
Correct.
So that would have been how you should respond to that objection, ma'am. That's how you rebut that. And
Got
then
it.
I would have looked at Mr. Crawford and I would have said, you know, it's a good objection, but you overruled, sir. Witness may answer.
Okay.
So be in the moment. Be in
I'm
the now.
here.
There you go.
All right. Well, she mostly answered and says yes that he was indeed
Yeah, I
inebriated
caught
in her
that.
person.
Let's keep going. But this was a teaching moment, and we were teaching. It's all right.
Okay, Mercedes, do you believe that if someone invites you to dinner, they should be the one to pay the bill?
Oh, I'd hope so. I mean,
What the fuck,
usually
Aaron?
when people invite me, like, hey, you want to give me a hand job, then plus they're gonna pay me, right?
Do you only say that because of your profession?
Oh, that's more of like a life experience. I mean, it's something like, you gonna mow my lawn? You gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna make money, right? It's fucking sweating.
That's confusing. Okay, so are you saying that because you just want people to buy you free food, or because that's a rule that you know about?
If he said, hey, we're gonna go look at the sunset, then that implies that there's gonna be no money, right? If you're gonna say, we're gonna have dinner, well, that implies we're gonna go out to eat, and that implies that there's gonna be money.
Okay. So, whose date were you throughout the night? Were you Mr. O'Banion's date, or were you Murphy Braun's date?
Objection asked and answered.
Not asked and
Who
answered.
was your date
Hold on,
for the
hold on.
night?
Not
Aaron,
rebut
instead of just like going off and doing something else, rebut the objection. Like I was saying before, tell me why his objection is wrong.
Because it wasn't answered.
You are actually correct. It was not asked and answered by this
Boom!
witness. You're overruled, sir.
Hey, Wayne. Pardon me. Hey, is this training?
No, this is actually a real live case. Welcome to hell.
Oh, this is an actual trial.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Coop.
Oh, all right. I thought this was training.
No,
No.
this is a suit in the matter of $5,000 between Murph and Rory. And we're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
This is my first case, Mr. Coop.
Likewise.
Quite certain the judge could tell. All right, let's keep this flaming bullet train a rolling.
Yo, an Aussie spotter. Thanks
Okay.
for the 2 months, dude.
Mercedes, would you say
Yeah.
that you were would you say that you were Mr. O'Banion's date for the entire night?
I mean, I would say that I was obeying just as much as Murphy's. I'm not very picky or choosy. Hell, I'd take both of them.
Is it because of monetary value?
What?
All right,
What?
I'm gonna stop this right here. Ms. Benz, I need to advise you that these questions are going down a route that you might want to exercise your Fifth Amendment rights on.
But
You don't have to answer any questions that would incriminate you in any illegal activities, ma'am, such as being paid for any type of sexual favors.
prostitution ain't illegal in this city, sir.
Well, you weren't in this city, ma'am. You were in Massachusetts, where it is definitely illegal.
Last time I checked, this is Los Santos,
Oh,
sir.
wait,
You-
where the hell were
you
y'all?
drunk?
Los Angeles.
Napa Valley, California, Your Honor.
There we go. Thank you.
I would just like to state for the record that there was no Eiffel Tower going on. Me and O'Banion didn't tag team this
All right.
lady.
That's
Anyhow,
because
in-
they both left with me,
in,
Yana.
in California, it actually is. So anyhow, just letting you know there, just in case. So
Are
yeah,
we
go,
sure
go
this
ahead.
isn't training?
But
Yeah, we're sure. Anyhow, go on ahead with the answers.
I believe this is all of the questions I have for Mercedes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. You may step back.
Go get her, Tiger.
God damn it, Aaron.
Mr. Crawford, you
What?
going to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, come on up to the plate.
What?
Pay attention.
I am.
you look like a delicious sugar plum.
I'm sure I'm tastes like one too. So,
Ew.
just one moment, Your Honor.
I'd eat you up.
That's fine. Take your time.
Kyle.
Miss Benz, you partook in the drinking throughout the night as well yourself, did you?
Oh, yes, I did.
And towards the end of the night, did you witness Mr. Braun excuse himself to the bathroom?
Yeah, there was a time where you got up. I got a glance at his buns and them pants.
Right. And as Mr. Braun left, did Mr. O'Banion say anything?
No, I think he was still engaging in conversation with us. I think he made a glance at the fact that he was leaving. Maybe like an opportunity to hit on me and the other ladies.
So he made a glance to leave, and when he got up, did he show any intention to pay the bill at all?
Objection, leaving?
Sorry, I'm confused.
Well,
That
all right. Well,
objection,
nope, she
gonna
objected
do,
for leading. Mr. Crawford, do you wish to offer any kind of rebuttal?
Hard for us to lose this, out of all honesty.
I'm just stating
Cross-examination.
I mean, Artson, are we sure this isn't training? Because this is the cross-examination sheet have just objected to leading.
I am well aware. I want to see if Mr. Crawford knows what he's supposed to be doing here. Thank you very much. I know how to run a
Okay.
trial, Coop.
The cross is
Okay,
allowed to
I'm just
lead,
gonna-
Aaron.
I was
Yeah, but if you had trained me properly, I would know what a
All right,
cross
Mr.
is and what a
Crawford,
direct
do you wish
is.
to offer any kind of rebuttal?
Aaron, did you
You
pay
really
attention
should.
at law school?
yeah, I was
Yeah, I
purely gonna
did.
say due to the fact of
Just-
where we are in this case,
Mr.
leading
Crawford,
is allowed.
Mr. Crawford, did you listen to Judge Holliday and what he said at all?
Yes, cross-examination.
There
leading
you
is
go.
allowed.
You're overruled, Aaron. Go ahead.
Okay.
Do you need me to repeat the question, ma'am?
Yeah.
So when Mr. Braun left and Mr. Banion showed a glance that he was ready to
Okay.
leave, did he show any intention of paying the bill?
I don't know. I didn't see the check on the table, and I didn't know if you pay at the front, if it's one of them places, or if the waiter comes and hands you the check.
Well, when it came to leave, did you exit purely through the front door, or did you stop and wait for any payment to occur?
Oh, there was a moment where I was being told I should be hushed out the back.
Objection.
On what grounds?
Something. Objection to something.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that.
Good job, O'Banion.
What the fuck, Rory?
So you said you were hushed out the back.
What would my objection be there?
Well, it was implied earlier.
I couldn't
in
figure it
the night
out.
By Mr. O'Banion.
What the fuck is it? Rory.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit more, ma'am?
Well, he kicked me under the table, and I looked at him. I was like, "What are you getting after, boy?" And then he was like, pointing towards the
Objection,
back.
relevance.
Well, Mr. Crawford, are you going to rebut?
There. That's what it was.
Maybe me and Murphy should fire them both.
Mr. Crawford.
No, Your Honor, I'll leave it.
He's probably
So
too
you're
busy
gonna
parting his
withdraw?
hair, Your Honor.
So could you repeat that?
You're going to withdraw the question?
Yes.
All right. Continue. The objection is sustained then. Question is withdrawn.
The fuck is
No-
even
no
happening? We're
further
fucking with
questions.
the new attorneys.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. You may step back. Ms. Cox, do you wish to redirect at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Benz, you may step down with the court's thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Crawford, was this one of your two
later.
recalls?
You can ask her questions later about the bill.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Crawford, can I
Can you
get
write
a
that on a
head
piece of
up,
paper? I
down,
can't fucking hear you.
no? Hi, how you doing, Your Honor?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Something.
This,
Thank you,
this was
sir.
what too.
Ms. Benz, please note that don't go anywhere. You're going to be recalled later. You'll still be under oath.
Yeah, she'll be called, all right.
Yes, yes, sir, Your Honor, sir.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Benz. Ms. Cox, do you have any other witnesses you wish to call before the court at this time? Ma'am.
Yes, I would really like to call upon Molly here.
Molly here. All right, Ms. Here, come on up.
No.
and,
Her name is Molly, not Molly here. But
Does she have a last name?
My name is Molly McGregor, sir.
Oh, Ms. McGregor. Sorry. Yep, Ms. McGregor. Please be sworn in by the judge over there.
All right, Miss McGregor. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under penalties of perjury. So help you foil.
I do.
Praise Mitch.
She's sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cox, you may begin
Molly
your
here.
question of this witness.
hello, Molly. Nice to meet you.
A good day, you as well.
Molly here.
When it came to the payment of dinner, was it previously discussed?
Not to my knowledge, ma'am, but they didn't discuss much in front of us, nothing like that.
Hey, no problem, Eagle.
How much wine would you say was consumed throughout the night?
Eagle.
It was copious, I cannot say for sure. There were several bottles, as I recall, but as you have heard previously, everyone was well, rather schnackered.
Ugh.
Did you say buttholes or bottles? I can't
She said bottles. What
Mr. Holiday!
You know, I'm gonna echo that. What the hell, Judge
It
Holiday?
sounded. I'm
Order
gonna
in my
actually.
courtroom, sir.
Judge Artson, one
Yes, sir.
moment. It did sound like buttholes to me as well.
I was
Oh,
actually
just going with it.
legitimate.
Yes.
I had to
Oh, it
pay
was
extra for that.
All right, no, no. Okay,
It
so
was
I think
bottles,
the
Your
problem.
Molly-
bottles.
It's,
The
I'm
problem
telling you
here
again.
is
She
that-
said it again, Your Honor. You
Uh,
might want to think
Buttholes.
about
But-
holding
yeah,
her
but-
in contempt of court for mockery of this court.
What?
All right,
I said bottles, not buttholes.
Okay, order in my courtroom, damn it. I understand it. I understand it. I think the problem here is Ms. McGregor can't figure out if she's Irish or Scottish.
Stola, what's up, brother?
Anyhow,
Miss
we will
McGregor,
continue.
are you Irish or Scottish?
Both.
There you go, Your Honor.
Objection relevance.
Yeah, that's sustained. All right, let's keep going.
Was Mr. Braun inebriated at dinner?
Yeah, we were all inebriated.
Oh my god, Aaron. Yo, Pistola, my man, thanks for the 3 months.
How long would you say Mr. Braun went to the bathroom for?
It was several minutes. He did look a little green, to be honest. I wasn't sure if he was, using the facilities or, emptying himself of his.
Hold on, Your Honor. I believe somebody got knocked the fuck out back here.
Yeah,
Just
there's a
happened.
dead guy back here.
But, all right,
Just
Officer Snow or Judge
yeah.
Holiday, could one of you
Just-
please
just-
help that poor individual?
Oh, he is real messed up.
All right.
I got this.
All right.
Wait,
Let's,
Snow.
Hey, hi.
Oh,
Cody, I
Lord,
thought you were
the
training
romance
well.
continues. All right,
Yep.
Aaron, please continue your question.
What the hell?
Did you see the bill on the table before you left with Mr. O'Banion?
No, I can't even remember if you don't mind, ma'am. It was very, very late, and we were all very inebriated. I can't say. I was not looking for it, to be honest, because as far as the whole paying the bill controversy came from, I was quite sure that it was no my responsibility. So, to be honest, I didn't even look for it.
Yo, Wild Khaleesi, thanks for the prime.
Would you say that you were Mr. O'Banion's date?
No, he seemed quite taken with the purple-head lass. I was.
And I was.
I was more interested in conversation with Mr. Braun.
Your Honor, did she say pepper-headed?
I thought she said pepper-headed. I'm
It's
not sure how
pepper-headed.
anybody's going to take it. Were you going for purple?
Purple, aye.
I heard
All
pepper.
right.
Pepper-headed
So-
and buttholes. Got it.
Yeah, got it.
Looks more pink to me.
That is definitely.
It's more
purple.
violet. Maybe you guys should
Purple.
invest in a color chart.
Banion
All right,
understands
let's
me as valid.
continue.
How?
So your last question was about whether Ms. McGregor here took a fancy to Mr. O'Banion or Mr. Braun, and she decided that Mr. Braun was more to her taking. So that's where you were. Where were you going to go next?
I'm done questioning Molly, sir.
Okay, very good. You may step back.
See, I mean, it's obvious the better looking one is going to be into me. And the train
Well,
wreck
I
is
was
gonna be
into
into
both of
Rory's
them later,
definitely
Murphy.
better
In my
looking than you.
courtroom, I swear to God. I'm not going to have on a scale of 1 to 10 which one of you is cuter happening in my courtroom right now. All right,
Murphy's
Mr.
baldy.
Crawford, come on over. This is not a Chippendales dance, gentlemen. They ain't ladies that are going to be throwing singles at you.
Chippendales is an all-male show, sir.
That's what he meant.
Yeah, and those are 2 males over there, sir.
Yeah. Well, are you sure about that?
Oh, well, that is true. All right, I stand
Murphy is kind of
corrected.
the woman.
All right, I
Yeah.
apologize. I stand corrected. Anyhow,
Yeah.
Mr. Crawford, would you like to question this witness, please?
Yes. So, Miss McGregor, was it?
We're just improving it in court, dude.
When it came to ordering the wine, who actually did the ordering?
I believe it was Mr. Braun as the clearly more intellectual of the pair.
Right. And was there any objection to the wine being ordered at all?
Not that I recall, at least not from my quarter.
Bam, this is it.
And you didn't see any discussion for the payment for the wine either, did you?
No, as I said, it was not my responsibility, so I didn't pay any attention to any sort of that speak.
Yep, no further questions.
All right, Ms. Cox, do you wish to redirect at this time?
Yes, you do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good.
I can't hear you, lass.
If someone takes control of ordering the meal and the wine, could it then be said that they would be responsible for the check?
No, because nobody said anything to that, that was never explicitly stated. I feel like if anything of that sort was to be prearranged, it should be explicitly stated. There was no... Sorry, go ahead.
So you're saying that it should be explicitly stated who pays the bill, so therefore it should not be assumed or implied that the other person is paying for the bill.
Speculation.
Objection to speculation?
So, speculation. Not quite what you should have been going for there. You should have been going for leading. But I'm going to sustain it. Would you like to rephrase that question, Ms. Cox?
So you're saying that a person should only pay for the bill
Helper? No.
or be
My side's easy.
Objection leading?
That is sustained.
In your opinion, someone should only be responsible for the bill if it is discussed beforehand, officially and
Yo,
not
thanks for
implied.
the 20, Pepper Jack.
This is
**** gold. I love your streams, man.
Hey, dude, I appreciate the 20.
Yeah, at the same
I'm
time,
glad you love the streams.
You know,
I love you.
plan to go out together. Maybe just talk about it at some point, or hell, just Venmo it. There's nothing that says they didn't say, you know, Venmo me later or some shit.
For the love of God, Aaron, can you stop letting her answer so long in these questions?
Why? It's good.
What the hell is Venmo?
Venmo's
All right,
like
next
PayPal.
question.
It's like PayPal, Your Honor.
All right. Hi, I'm 60 years old. Next question,
It's
please.
okay.
I don't think I have any more questions, Your Honor.
All right, very good. You may
What the
step back.
fuck?
What?
Miss McGregor, you may step down
She's
with
right.
the court's thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Crawford, is this another one
Look
of
like a
your
hooker.
recalls?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All
He's
right,
a
Miss
hooker, Judge
McGregor,
LeBar.
don't go far.
No.
Please
Nobody
note,
asked me that.
please note, Miss McGregor, that you will be recalled for a further questioning, and you will still be under oath at that time.
Understood, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Miss Cox, do you have any further witnesses that you wish to call before the court at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Are you quite certain?
Yeah.
You're quite certain?
Don't
do
got
we have-
questions for like me or Murphy or anything like that?
No, she seemed pretty confident that there was no more.
Do you want me to ask you some shit?
No,
What do you
I want you to know, Aaron.
What? I don't. What am I missing? Why do I
Nothing.
need to ask you my questions?
We're sure this isn't training.
Oh my God, who?
Coop, for the
I
last
will
time, stop.
explain it later, Coop.
What?
No.
What? Why do I need
Hey,
to call you
Mike,
this
what's
in?
up, pal?
So, Aaron,
Give
that's,
us
so
support.
that's your final answer.
Make sure you don't get
You're
screwed.
nothing
Shh.
further. You're gonna rest.
I can't think with all these stupid people talking behind me.
Really? All right. If y'all are back behind there, whispering and giggling and whatnot, I swear to God, I'm gonna have Jackie arrest every single
Why don't
one
you
of
tell me what I'm missing
and throw
then?
you in the penitentiary.
No.
Then, I don't have any questions to ask you. I've already asked you everything.
And he loves throwing people in jail for absolutely no reason. It's one of his favorite
It's
things.
true. It's true.
It's just blame the DOJ. We can take it.
Exactly. That's what'll happen anyhow.
Understood.
Fine. Can I call Rory to the stand, please?
Yes, you may. Mr. O'Banion, please step forward. I remind you, sir, you are still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wait, Your Honor. Before I call him to the stand, can I actually request a 2-minute recess? Am I allowed to?
You know what? Just this once, I'll give you a backsies. Go ahead.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor. You need to jump.
This court is in recess. All right. Come on.
Yeah.
God damn it, Aaron.
Well,
All right, so what?
All right. Aaron. What are you doing?
What the hell do I need to ask you? I wasn't asking
What
maybe.
you
Did you
just
see
need
the
to
check?
do is elaborate on the fact that I never agreed to pay any
I
bill.
am in the closing statement. Why does no one trust me?
I trust you, but you need to get it from my mouth and from Murphy's mouth that there was never a actual verbal
But
yes, I
everyone
will pay the
literally
bill.
said that already. But I will
Hey.
do it again.
Hey, what's
What?
up? Hey, what's up?
what's up, man? Hey, look.
What the fuck?
Hi.
What is?
Hi.
Honestly,
you should really press on the fact that there was no contract, and this is a place of law. You know, you can't just keep pressing on the fact that the assumption of
Winters.
paying. There was no written contract. There was no verbal contract here. It was purely his assumption. Okay.
He even
And-
said it himself.
Yeah,
Implied.
Implied.
guys, see,
Just-
the fact is that everyone just thinks I'm dumb and I didn't realize.
No, I'm just saying, if you get those, if you get anybody up on the stand, or Mr. Braun or whatever, and whoever, just keep pressing on that, because
Yeah,
at the end,
The question you should have been asking these hookers was, hey, did Rory O'Banion ever say he was paying the bill?
But they said that already. They literally said no form of payment was ever discussed. Both of them straight up said that.
Yeah,
Even
but
Rory
I
said
mean,
it was implied.
that's
I mean,
saying
even
that-
Braun said it was implied.
But it would help the
So in the
judge with
closing
with
statement-
understanding more that it was never talked about or discussed.
Wouldn't they just object, asked, and answered because they already
No, they
answered
wouldn't.
it? They literally said they never heard any discussion
Asked
about
and answered
payment.
doesn't go with a question being answered already previously. All right, 2 minutes are up.
good luck.
Shit. Hey, how you doing, by the way, Scarlett?
What the fuck?
Yeah, maybe we can go out on a date afterwards, Scarlett. How's that sound?
Less of a sleaze bag than him. Oh, hi.
So long, it's kind of like I'm antsy.
Yeah, you gotta,
Oh,
you gotta stretch out a little bit, I'd.
Yeah. Hey, Rory, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. What the fuck? Why is everyone going outside?
I don't know. Probably stretching their leggies.
I think they put the recess up to 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Man, my legs are just so sore.
Anyone need any food or water? I happen to have some on me from the last case.
Well, look at you.
Hello, Miss Willis.
You could always be a delivery boy, huh?
Is that what you said when you were coming into that hooker's pussy?
No.
You were delivering your cum to her uterus?
No, I wasn't. I mean, that's what condoms are for.
Well, I mean, you might want
Except
to check
maybe
in
I
9
didn't
months,
use one.
Rory.
Stop! He's already dead.
All right. This court is back in session. Ms. Cox.
Aaron, I just want to let you know that you're doing a great job, and we appreciate you at the Department of Justice.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
Nope.
Don't let it get to
Certainly
your
not.
head. He tells
Certainly not.
everybody that.
Oh, by the way, if you win the case, I'll get you a date with the purple one.
What? Who's
The purple one's mine, Murphy.
Take
All
a
right,
number, Murphy.
order in the court. How
Ew.
the hell did you hear that? He was speaking very lowly. Anyhow, Aaron, you may begin your questioning.
Rory, I mean, Mr. O'Banion, was it previously discussed who would pay the bill?
It was never discussed who would pay the bill.
I think that's all the questioning I have. Stop smacking! What?
I didn't
Everyone
do it.
wants to say something. What?
Nope, it's fine. Nope. Anyhow, All right. If that is all the questions you have, you may step back.
Just make sure you ask about the phone call and him saying
All
my pleasure
right.
and stuff.
Mr. Crawford, do you wish to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, step forward. Now, please ensure that you keep your questioning and your line of questions to the scope of the question that Ms. Cox asked.
That's a tough scope.
It is a tough scope that Ms. Cox asked.
When you invited Mr. Braun for lunch, could you explain how you did the invitation?
Scope! Scope!
Objection narrative.
Scope!
Scope! Sure you want a narrative and maybe not something that'll keep your breath minty fresh?
Scope!
Scope. There
Yeah,
you go.
objection scope.
All right, Mr. Crawford, how would you like to rebut?
The context is purely due to the invitee asking, the inviter asking the invitee out for lunch.
All right, which is
in relevance to for paying the bill, as mentioned before. If there was no other discussion, then the person who invites is normally the one who pays.
This is gonna go through.
All right, I'm going to need you to wrap that rebuttal up inside of 10 words or less, please, because I think you might have gotten close to how you could stay within the scope with that particular question, but it took you about 1.5 years to get there, and I'm an old man. I don't have that kind of time.
Building foundation to figure out who would pay.
Okay, that is within the scope of the question that Ms. Cox asked. So, Ms. Cox, you are overruled at this time. However, keep that particular objection in your back pocket, because you might want to use it again. The witness may answer.
Can I please have the question again, please?
How did the invitation for the lunch go out?
Pretty sure I called Murphy, and I said, "Hey, pal, I got these 2 dates. Don't want to dates.
Dates, very good.
Yeah, and let's go out." And I believe, it's starting to come back to me now. I think I said that these dates would be a pleasure. That's what I believe. I think that's what Mr. Braun's referring to, is how I said that these dates would in fact be a pleasure.
No.
Or give us
pleasure.
pleasure.
Your pleasure. You said it's my pleasure.
Order in my court. Murph, if you want to represent yourself, you can fire Mr. Crawford at any time. Otherwise, hush.
Please don't.
You won't, Murphy.
I'll keep Mr. Crawford, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Crawford?
And so with that invitation, there was no discussion with who would actually be paying the bill on the night.
There was no discussion regarding any type of payment. I mean, I'm not taking him to court for those 2 hook dates.
What?
Dates, Judge Holliday. Dates.
Said hookers.
No, I said Hook. It was a great movie with Robin Williams. Fantastic.
Great movie.
He's right. It is a very good movie.
Too good for you.
Bangarang, Murphy. Bangarang.
Bangarang, Peter.
I want some of that Neverland food.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Just
I want
imagine
some
it, and it
pixie
will be
dust.
there. All right. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. You may step back. Ms. Cox, do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Mr. O'Banion, you may step down with the court's thanks.
Always a pleasure standing next to you, Your Honor. You smell like
likewise.
bison meat.
I appreciate that.
What?
Judge
Bison's
Bison
great.
retired a while ago.
Bison burgers.
Bison burgers are amazing.
Smells gamey then.
Yeah, but it tastes so
Well,
good.
I'm very old, Jackie. I should smell gaming. Anyhow, Aaron,
Okay.
do you have
Smells
any
like
other?
Old
Oh wait, no,
Spice.
I'm sorry. Wait, yeah, Aaron, do you have any other individuals you wish to call to the stand at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so does the defense rest at this time?
That means you stop, basically.
Yeah, we're done.
Thank
Say
you very
defense
much, Aaron.
rest.
Aaron, how about it go like this? At this time, Your Honor, the defense rests.
At this time, Your Honor, the defense rests.
Mazel tov, you finished your first
There you
case.
go.
All right. Just once, I'd
Wait.
like to not have to. Well, now,
When's
hold
the
on.
closing
Just once, I'd like to
statement?
not have to prompt one of y'all
Later.
to actually rest your damn
When
case.
he says closing statements, Aaron.
All right, Mr. Crawford, you said you wanted to recall.
This
those,
is why you're supposed to
those
be
two young ladies,
training me.
and I said that I would allow it. So,
Just before that, Your
Oh,
Honor,
all right.
I'd like to request just a real short recess.
oh, why the hell not? I've let everybody else have a break. You can have one too.
Oh, appreciate it.
And Judge LeBar, any other outbursts like that, and I'm going to employ.
I didn't have any outbursts.
Wasn't you? Who the hell
No.
was it?
Hey Murphy,
I
know
hate-
that date that
I can
date
barely
that said you
talk.
were an intellectual?
No, you're right.
She really has a big brain on her.
No, she said I am more intellectual.
Yeah, and she implied that I'm not. But
Yeah,
she
and
still came home
she's
with
hotter
me.
too. Look at her.
Hey,
She's
Judge
not even
Holliday.
drunk.
And she's also not been asked if she was
She's got
even
no tits!
actually paid for. Oh, I will.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it
I'm just
known
browsing the interwebs.
that I
you
am
know, looking at the
not
news and
an
stuff like that.
escort. I was simply asked to join, and the slander is making me
Ma'am,
actually
Good.
seriously
I don't know if you
consider
consider it good.
suing
Ma'am, I
Mr.
can't
Braun for
understand a word
slander.
that's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
right
Oh,
now.
that's very nice of you. I cannot understand half the
Happens
shit
on
that
the
you
news,
say
stuff like
either.
that.
She
Alright, I
sounds
gotta-
like
I
a
gotta go
dog with
recess for
peanut
my
butter
lawyer.
in her mouth.
Yeah,
Mar-
girl.
I mean, it could be
Goop.
good in some eyes, it could be bad.
I'm
in
getting
others,
it.
So I guess it's however you take it, right?
I need to hire a translator.
I paid her for sex. She
You
is an
didn't,
escort.
though. You didn't.
You took the money!
Wait,
no, no,
wait,
there
what
was
did you
no.
do?
Whoa.
There was no money.
Jesus.
There was no
Wait,
money.
what?
I was
What?
invited out and then
We
I went
lacked.
home.
You want a what?
I bought
This
her.
man
We
is
played
slandering
blacks.
the shite out of me and I didn't
Uh,
appreciate
I
it.
paid her for sex,
He didn't.
like a
It's a
saxophone.
tough question to answer.
Are you saying you dinner? Like dinner?
I am saying I was not paid for sex. Is that clear?
No.
Well,
It's
That's
kind
your
of
own-
muddled and half Irish, half Scottish, if we're honest.
well, that's your own problem, isn't it?
No, actually, it's your problem because we can judge you up here.
Well,
I can translate, Your Honor.
Hey, Aaron, you doing okay?
thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. I speak fluent English, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish.
Hey,
Yeah,
Aaron,
I
you
am
doing
a
okay?
Oh my god. Was that an exchange? How
Huh?
much money was that?
Oh, she's
It
doing
looked like-
great.
Are you
Like-
talking to me?
That was
That
just
looked like
$50
nothing.
and a G
Okay.
string.
Never mind.
Oh.
Wait,
Guess there's another Aaron in the room.
what the fuck was he saying? Hold on.
Is this her
I
first
was just
case?
seeing if you're doing okay.
Yeah, this is her first case.
Oh,
Why did
Probably.
those,
Relax.
If you
there was some blood on one side
if
of
you
them?
want
It's weird.
some
probably
don't
your
take
last,
this.
huh?
If you would like some personal training,
If you
by
lose, I
me,
swear.
available.
I'm hurting her. I'm holding her personally responsible.
Rory's probably the one of the worst attorneys there is, but he is good at
Hey!
screaming.
He's my
He's very
attorney.
good at screaming and just like making up like a bunch of stuff on the spot, which really does make like a good attorney. But he is good at that.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Wait, is the court case over?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Recess.
What part are we on?
Hey, what's up?
The slow descent into madness.
I.
Oh, closing?
Slow descent.
Okay.
It was a sheer drop off.
Yo, full of a hoot. Thanks for the
Well,
fucking.
and
This is
having
water.
the judge
Not
said
in
to
any
me.
The
way, shape, or form follow
fucking
whiskey.
full of
There
a
you go.
thoot. What?
What's up?
Full of a
You're just
thoot.
gonna let that guy keep
Thanks for the
walking
10
around in your
gift subs,
skin?
brother.
Wait, what guy? I'm ready.
You never met him, huh?
What?
Oh,
I gotta get a hat. I gotta get a
With
hat.
the little
Go get a
green
hat.
By the
eye.
way, for the record, just for
Kermit?
the record, I'm just.
What?
Are you from Texas?
Probably. This is one of the greatest cases
got-
ever.
isn't that like your
You
twin?
don't ever talk about me.
or something?
about how I'm,
I'm
not
from
a Texan
Kermit.
anymore.
I'm from
ever
the
again.
greatest state.
No, I swear to God, I will come over there.
What, Alabama?
Oh, is she
Why are you
brother?
standing over there,
Oh
Kermit?
lord, it
Just,
begins.
Is your last name Kermit?
Did you just say
No, his
Mississippi
first
is
name's
better than
Kermit.
Do you want to
Texas?
talk over my closing
Yes,
They got,
statement?
they got the same
Tell me
last
that.
No,
name.
Tell me
you
how.
can just wing it.
How?
You got it.
Oh
We're
my
separated
God.
Mississippi loves America so much. When we don't
What?
get away, we don't threaten to leave.
Oh dear.
Alan, you have
Hey,
an earring?
none
Oh,
of my
dear.
states that can successfully leave
See,
this
Coop's
damn
right.
country.
See, I'm really
And
good
they
at
are
making
not
things
free
sound
today.
grand.
Crybaby
You know
state
what I
is
mean?
call
I'm
it.
really good at that. You, on the other
Come say
hand, you
that.
make things sound
Squawk
like
in there, say it.
dumb.
He's right about that.
All right, let's not abuse the attorneys, please. I swear to God.
Hmm.
I do like your state tax though.
I kind of like the fact that when you get into Dallas, they kind of pretend like there's supposed to be rules, but as soon as you get to like the outskirts of Dallas and anything outside, it's like no rules. It's Texas. Woo!
You ever notice that nobody in Dallas can drive worth a shit?
No, they can't. I've driven through Dallas a few times, and
It's the
damn, I'm.
worst.
You ever
almost
notice
at
that
110K
everyone in this courtroom
followers.
gives a shit
Statistically
about what you're
speaking,
talking about?
The
Texas
majority of the people
rules.
from
Then you
Dallas are
can
not actual
leave.
Texans.
She almost sounds like a
That
Colton.
makes sense.
All right, order in the court. We are back in session. Mr. Crawford, would you like to
Oh,
call
shit.
one of your two recall what the hell? Yeah, recall witnesses.
Yes, the plaintiff would like to first call Mercedes-Benz, please.
All right, Ms. Benz, come on back up to the stand. I'd like to remind you, ma'am, you are in fact still under oath.
Miss Mercedes.
Ms. Benz,
I think she
come
nodded
on
off.
down. You're the
Yeah,
next
what do you
contestant on The
want?
Price is Right.
Make sure you ask her.
Then
She's
look, I'm
drunk
hopping
right
over in
now,
this
too.
fence again. Now look at my underwear.
All right,
What
Sinead.
underwear?
That's my own theme song.
I was about
There you
to
go.
ask that.
It's my muff.
Do we have her
Fist
phone
bump.
number in the court records?
No.
No, but I bet you if you,
No.
I bet you can get it for cheap. Don't worry about it.
No.
Okay.
Hey there, Sugar Plum.
Mr.
Hello,
Crawford,
Miss
you may
Benz.
go ahead and question this witness. She is still under oath.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No.
Going back to what you were saying before, you mentioned that Mr. Banion kicked you under the table and gave you a little glance, hinting to leave.
Oh, I think you want me to follow him out back.
So did he? I'm sorry, just 1 second, Your Honor.
Sure, we just had a recess for you.
I know. I'm sorry. I just lost my phrasing of wording.
Uh-huh.
Could you tell me why Mr. Banion called you for the night
But I have dinner.
to have dinner? How well do you know Mr. O'Banion?
Well, Banion's
Is this
called
relevant?
me a handful of times to see if I want to have a good time.
Objection, relevance.
All right, Mr. Crawford, this is the part where you rebut and tell me why it's relevant.
Me and Murphy do
Well, she was there at the night. I'm just
of
purely building
nonsense.
foundation to next few questions.
You keep talking about how you're going to build foundation to the next couple of questions, sir, but her previous relationship with Mr. O'Banion has absolutely no bearing on this case. So what foundation exactly are you building?
I'll take back the question.
You just want to go ahead and withdraw then?
Yes.
Mazel tov. Well done.
He's got
All right,
owned
that,
by
that
Arnson.
objection is sustained, and the question is withdrawn.
He's got owned by Ardson.
Ma'am, have you been drinking at this time? You seem to be a bit out of it, and
Hey, what's
No,
up,
you
Zane?
must be deaf. I said that I was injured.
I apologize. You were just you were nodding off before, just having a bit of trouble.
No, I can't hear. The men in this courtroom seem to have very feminine, delicate voices that I can't hear across the room.
Well, that would just be cool.
You making personal jabs at me, sir?
No, ma'am. I apologize.
You can't tell the difference between someone being hurt and someone being intoxicated?
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor, ma'am. I'd like to. No further questions. I'm
No
sorry.
further questions. I'm done.
Apparently, I was confused as to
I'm
who was the
sorry.
attorney and who was the witness
the
at that
fuck?
point. I was almost going to ask if Ms. Benz had any further questions for her witness. All right, Ms. Cox, would you like to cross-examine?
Mrs. Benz, or Miss Benz.
Yep.
I would just like to confirm there was no previous discussion about who would be paying the bill for the night, correct?
No, not at all.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Alrighty. Mr. Crawford, do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. Ms. Benz, you may step down with the court's thanks.
Is it Mrs. or Ms.?
He's Miss Sugar Lips.
All right.
Better get on it, Coop. I think Dennis might beat you to the punch there. Mr. Crawford, do you have any other recall witnesses that you wish to bring before the court at this time, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff would like to call upon Miss Molly
McGregor.
Okay, very good. Miss McGregor, please come back to the stand. I remind you,
She says
ma'am,
she's
you
not
are
a hooker,
in
she's
fact
perjuring
under oath.
herself.
Ms. McGregor, did you catch that part? You still
I
under oath?
apologize. I understand, sir.
Okay, very good. Mr. Crawford, you may begin your questioning.
Yes, Miss McGregor, you mentioned before that of the two people you were with, Mr. Braun was a lot more of the intellectual kind.
Correct.
Could you please explain the vibe you got off Mr. O'Banion?
Objection.
On what grounds?
Relevance. Speculation.
I'm purely just going off just her own knowledge from the night, not backstory.
Overruled.
I can't really say, sir. It's more of a. I mean, if you want to go purely off looks, if you could see Mr. O'Banion was wearing something quite similar to that, and so was Mr. Braun.
Surprise.
So, you know,
closing?
if I, as someone who was there freely of my own will and not paid by anybody to do so, chose a date, it would clearly be someone who has taken the time to groom himself.
Yeah, I have no idea what she said.
She said you're a fucking slob.
Yeah, that's pretty much what she said.
Objection.
Overruled. Mr. Crawford, you may ask your next question.
And how was his attitude throughout the night?
I can't really describe. Mr. Braun seemed more inclined to actually talk about important matters, and the other, he seemed more down my friend's shirt, if you understand what I mean.
So it's getting a little touchy.
They were very close.
What the fuck does it have to do with anything?
Wouldn't that be relevant?
Yeah, relevance. But Sherry finished, so what the fuck?
Oh yeah, no further questions, Your Honor.
It's okay.
All right, very good. Ms. Cox, do you wish to cross-examine this witness?
Miss Molly, I would just like to confirm. There was no previous discussion of who would pay the bill. Correct.
I've already said that, though. There was no discussion.
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm. That is all, Your Honor.
All right, very good. You may step back.
Thanks for dinner, Murphy.
Mr. Crawford, do you wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. McGregor, you may step down with the court's thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I suppose for you it would be like what, Aaron go freedom?
Aaron Cobra.
What the hell's a cobra?
Yeah.
It's a type of snake. You
The enemy of
Objection,
G.I.
Your
Joe.
Honor,
The
relevant.
enemy of G.I. Joe.
All right. Ms. Crawford, those were your two recall witnesses. I'm assuming everybody is all set and happy with what has been put before the court at this time. The court will hear closing arguments. Counselors, are you prepared to give closing arguments at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I got one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. That's two. Very, very good. All right, Mr. Crawford, come on up and give your closing statement at this time, sir.
Good luck, nerd.
You're a nerd.
At the end of the day, what's the real issue here is the fact that two people who are great friends went out for a lovely light lunch, and in the end there was a bit of a hiccup with the bill. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a common problem, but however, normally when someone invites a friend over, unless it's discussed, typically it's going to be that person who invited over who's going to be paying the bill. There was no discussion at all. Mr. O'Banion was clearly intoxicated, did not have much regard, and honestly just came off as kind of a sleazeball throughout the night, according to Miss Benz. He waited to the moment that Mr. Braun had to excuse himself, in which case he took the chance and fled with his two dates, with no intention to pay, as well as unfortunately taking away Mr. Braun's
Pretty much
doggy
correct.
bag and the leftover bottle of wine. He had no intention to tip. He also stated on the phone, as according to Mr. Braun, that it was his pleasure and didn't really chase anything off of that. It is quite obvious to me, and hopefully to the people of the court, that this man had no intention to pay at all. He was in it purely just for a quick dine and a quick lay. And I don't think it's fair that my client, Mr. Braun over here, should have to pay for this inconvenience sake. Thank you.
Do you
Well
feel
done.
like this is
Well
good
done.
RP? Or are you over this? I love court.
All right.
Dude.
Ms. Cox, are you
love
prepared
court.
to come on forward, give your closing statement?
I bet she's actually nervous.
Your Honor, every single person on stand made it very clear that there was no discussion about payment. You cannot assume that someone will be paying a bill without discussing terms beforehand. Mr. Braun's seditions are not universal. One cannot assume that everyone should believe and live in the same ways that other people do.
He's a savant.
There is no proof. Nobody besides Braun saw the bill on the table. If they did not see the bill on the table, and if the bill and the payment of the bill was not previously discussed, Mr. O'Banion should not be responsible for the check.
He's
Their
like Will
argument is
Hunting.
all accusational,
He's a
but there is
fucking
actually no
savant.
proof. This means that there is no preponderance of evidence that Mr. O'Banion was going to pay for the bill. Without preponderance of evidence, I don't believe Mr. O'Banion should be responsible for the bill whatsoever.
Closing statement blew that
Thank you.
dipshits out of the water.
All right. All right, I'm putting this court into recess. I will be going back. I'll be joined by a couple of these other judges, where I'll begin my deliberations. I will come to a ruling in this matter today. I will not be setting it aside or going through into another day. You will have my ruling before we all leave here today. I will put out a state announcement when I require everybody to return to the courtroom so that I can render my decision and we can go ahead and satisfy the requirements of this hearing. So go ahead, go about your business. Please be prepared. I'll give a 5-minute warning. And oh, by the way, don't be going off and doing any silly crap. Because if we catch you doing it, I swear to God, I'll put you in jail for the rest of your natural life.
Jesus Christ, you're like the Rain Man of closing statements.
Was that a good thing?
Hey.
I never watched Rain Man.
Loser buys
That was
dinner.
good.
You wanna make that bet? You wanna make that bet?
Loser buys
I'll go
dinner?
to dinner
Yeah,
again.
loser
I
buys
think my
dinner.
money's saved, Adrian.
Aaron, that was a fantastic closing statement.
My pleasure.
Are you talking this dinner or the previous dinner?
He's
No,
Hell
the
yeah.
next dinner.
What's going on,
Hell
Mercedes?
yeah.
So do I.
I'm gonna get some dinner tonight.
Oh, how are we? You want
I
some
swear
chicken? You
she's
want
a
some
Colton.
wings?
Are you a Colton?
I want buffalo wings.
Oh yeah, she wants some
Orange
buffalo
cat.
wings.
You asking if I'm a Colton? Does Ben sound like Colton, sir?
Your last name is Benz? I thought it was Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Benz was a nickname.
Benz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was something.
Holy oh my god.
Worth every penny. Hey, good
Rory,
job on
yeah.
that closing statement, Rain Man.
Hey,
You made that
so
guy
does
look like a
Rain Man.
didshit.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
You don't
this is
know
Rain
Rain
Man.
You never seen Rain Man?
No.
You've literally, Mercedes, you believe she's never seen Rain Man?
What is Rain Man?
Let's get the Atlas Shore, the Rain Man.
All right. After deliberation, I have come to the following conclusions. First and foremost, I do note that this bill does not have a zero sum on it, and so there cannot be any actual proof that it was actually paid. I also do note that in all of the goings back and forth between the two parties, it was never truly indicated whose idea it was to go to this particular restaurant. And while it is a fact indicated that Mr. Braun was the orderer of the wine, all the different food items and everything else that came along with it, there is no testimony that would allow the court to come to any kind of meaningful conclusion as to who the individual, whether it was a two-party ordering system or whether one person just kind of went hog wild with someone else's credit card. Also of note, the court is not willing at this time to go ahead and legislate etiquette into our daily lives, etc., so on and so forth. And since we do not have any concrete evidence that there was any type of communication between the two parties, ascertaining as to who would be the one that would be responsible for the buying of all of this food and beverage, we're going to go ahead and rule with the wisdom of Solomon at this time. And we are going to find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $2,461.86, also known as half the entirety of the bill. Furthermore, the court is going to find that both of you gentlemen, having graduated from Harvard and having been a part of Bullhead Law, y'all should be shaking hands and making up. And so therefore, the court is going to order both of you gentlemen to be wearing Yale sweatshirts for the next week.
Oof.
Fuck Yale!
Ooh.
Fuck
Dear
Yale.
God.
And that is the order of this.
It could have been
court.
worse. We
looks
could
like I
have
didn't
you to
lose
wear
money.
a Dartmouth sweatshirt.
We will consider
God.
Brown
Nope.
as well.
They found in favor of the plaintiff.
Yeah, or Cornell.
Anything but Brown.
Like, it's like
Yeah,
it could have been
Pepsi
worse. It
Brown.
could have been Texas
No,
Tech.
that's a no.
Right.
It's not how
I'm
it works.
sorry. Here we go
Or
again.
A&M.
Coyote. If you,
All right, order in the court. We're
Okay,
going to take
all
Mississippi v.
right,
Texas.
okay.
You know what? That can be another case that
That can
these
be
two
another
fine
case.
young junior attorneys can go ahead and handle. All right. All joking.
One thing, you kind of forgot something, didn't you?
Did I?
Or
What?
maybe
advice.
the advice about itemizing.
Oh,
You
very
know,
much.
help.
So you're
Yes.
right. You're right.
Yes.
I forgot about that. I apologize.
Right.
All right. Future reference, attorneys that are out there. Itemize things. Get more lists. Get more. There was a lot of back and forth between the two parties. If we'd have had some itemized receipts, a listing of things going on. If during your questioning either of you had gotten into who ordered what, who did this, who did that, instead of simply trying to go over whether or not somebody was drunk or not, which truthfully actually wasn't even relevant at all to this entire proceeding, then we could have gotten further
Rory.
into it and maybe actually split this correctly. But because you didn't give us much to go with, we just had to go straight down the middle. So I don't really know whether or not that's a fair ruling. But it's the one I'm going with today because it's the fairest I can be to these two parties.
I concur.
Give me my $2,000 back.
All right. I further want to let everybody know that this was a very solid case. I'd like to thank everybody for their participation.
Give me my
for being here tonight.
$2,000 back.
Preparation and making sure that you speak with your clients and any associated
got this.
witnesses prior to is also key as well. Keep that in mind.
Mike's gonna go
Moving
kick
forward.
her ass.
All
Hey,
right.
Mr. Braun or Mr. Banion, if y'all are in the
Wait,
secret
what?
alone, contact me
Hello?
directly and privately if y'all are running into any financial issues.
Stout.
How you got all that money?
Okay, you hear that, Rory?
I'm good on money. Maybe Murphy's the one that's breaking my balls over a $5,000 bill.
Adrian, have a little hop.
It's a principle.
Principal. It shows how broke you are, motherfucker.
All right, that is the order of this court. $2,461.86 from Mr. O'Banion to Mr. Braun, and both of you. I better see some go Yale on you for a week.
Yep.
Go
Crimson.
Crimson.
All right.
I'm
also,
financially comfortable because I
another
stay
thing.
after my money.
Remember that
Mr. Banion.
now that court's over, we must leave this city. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go, Murphy. Paid in full.
Thank you very much.
That's
Oh, I thought there was gonna be
$2.
another case
Cough it
after
up.
this. Is that
Let's
not
go.
true?
Cough what up?
You gave me $2. Give me the money.
I'll give you the money next time I see you, pal. How much was it again?
$2,461.86.
Actually,
Are you good, Aaron?
you might want to make to give him the money till you're over
Miss
the
Cough?
city. Okay.
Yeah, it won't
All right.
matter here.
It won't
I
matter
can't
here.
see you, Kermit.
Okay,
Are you
okay.
around?
Gotcha.
You need to jump, man.
One of you may need to jump.
Oh, Kermit needs to jump.
Kermit.
Justice has been halfway served here today. Thank you very much, Your
Fuck
Honor.
you and your justice, Murphy. I won. God damn it, Aaron.
What?
God damn it. Ugh.
Even if you had an itemized receipt, you'd still own money.
That's
Motherfucker.
That
I
was
couldn't
a
get your
stupid
cash back,
ruling.
and she called the cops on me.
Oh shit. Did she run away, Mr. Skunt? It's
Yeah,
alright, she'll
she
be
called the
back. She
cops.
likes my money. Alright, guess what? Catch you later.
Wait, you're gonna talk to me about it?
I'll catch
We
later.
can't
See
stay
you
here
next
too
week.
long.
Better have my
We
money.
can't stay here too long.
Are you going to sleep? Like sleep?
Also, since you
yeah.
lost, you're buying dinner next time.
Alright,
wasn't a
you're buying the
loss.
hookers.
Necessarily, it was like a half split.
I
Also,
paid for all
I
the
won.
hookers, Murphy.
Miss Cox, I just
I
want to say,
didn't
despite
get any
the-
hookers, and I
all
didn't know
this,
those were
thank you
hookers,
very
by the
much
way.
for
I don't
the-
mess
What do
with
you
women.
mean? Look at Mercedes.
What? Are you talking to me?
I never
Nah,
seen
I
that
was
girl
trying
before
to.
the lunch.
How did you not know she was a fucking hooker?
Well, obviously I figured it out.
Oh, well,
What do you mean, obviously,
Fuck
you
you too,
stupid
then.
fuck?
I figured it out
She
when
tried
I
to
saw
suck
her.
your dick for 50 bucks.
Maintain our professionalism.
yeah, I was trying to be
All right,
professional.
well-
but if she's
Sorry,
gonna do
I
that,
learned
she can
from
do it
my-
fucking-
I thought
I
about
learned
that,
from my
but
boss.
Aren't you guilty of the same price?
Yeah,
you-
she's the rain
I
man.
can,
Same crime as
I
she is,
can
then?
tell you learned from your boss. He's a really
What?
good
She's
teacher.
sweeter than-
Very
Alright.
well done. Very
I'm the
well
best
done.
teacher ever. Alright, see you guys later.
All right, bye.
Again, just because we're on opposite sides of the legal aisle doesn't mean we have to
Hey.
be cheerleaders wearing colors.
Are you leaving?